A promotional package is created for an artist when new music is released. This usually consists of several different parts. For me, this was a music video for the single paired with a digipack and a website. After creating my music video, I moved on to constructing a digipack that followed the codes and conventions appropriate to the folk genre and linked to the artist's iconography, which is outlined in the music video. This will aid the synergy between the products. During the construction of my digipack, I considered the folk genre and the way this would affect the overall look and design of the product I was creating. Typically, the conventions dictate that there should be an image of the artist on the front panel. Usually, this is an image showing the artist in what Archer describes as a voyeuristic context, which is specific to their iconography, often featuring a signature aspect of the artist. For example, on Newton Faulkner's digipack, he is framed in a medium close-up looking down and laughing. This demonstrates his representation as being carefree and happy. However, his dreadlocks are clearly seen, and this is continued throughout the digipack, with images of him, with the back panel being particularly focused on his dreadlocks. In a similar fashion, on James Bay's digipack, the front shows him in a mid-shot in a darker, duller colours, reinforcing his grungier iconography. However, a standout feature throughout his digipack is that his hat features on him, but also as a prop on the back of the album. This creates a theme throughout. In my construction, I featured Alice on the front in a mid-close-up with her guitar. She and the guitar featured heavily throughout the digipack to use conventions demonstrated to me for existing products. Most of the features and conventions for the digipack mirrored that of the music video and general iconography of the artist. Therefore, I used natural lighting and created an overexposed look on all the images to suit the natural hippie style of the artist, as well as using flowy costume with nicely patterned materials, along with a straw hat. This also uses the conventions researched. As mentioned before, I aimed to use a reoccurring theme throughout the digipack, which I did through the use of the artist and her guitar, as the guitar Alice uses is very personalised and specific, which creates more of an identity to it and a direct link to the representation of the artist and her music. Following the construction of the digipack, I began the creation of the website for my artist. As the general convention stands, the visual effect of the website follows in formation with the digipack and music video, featuring the overexposed natural-based images, as well as the hippie-style clothing. However, I researched into the typical conventions of folk music artist websites and discovered they tend to feature a dark plain background with a range of images in front. The images that tend to feature on the website either seem to be natural-based, reinforcing the artist's voyeuristic context, or focused on the artists themselves, with the majority of images on the website being of the artist. On James Bay's website, the main image on the homepage is an image of the digipack front, as well as having all the button navigation pictures on the main page featuring his face. This theme is continued on the strips at the top of the page, which also feature the artist in images. In a similar way, Chris Stapleson's website features images of him on every page, in addition to being seen in a voyeuristic context of a natural outdoor setting. I use these conventions whilst constructing my website by heavily featuring my artist's face on the strips of the page and on available navigation buttons in various spaces. Generally, the pages seen on a folk website are a live tour page, a news page, an about page, a social blog page, a store, and various sorts of galleries or music pages. To continue the use of conventions for these sites, I created variations of these pages by having about, news, tour, social, music, and gallery. The main colour schemes of the folk genre sites were proven to be fairly dark, with a grey-black background, along with general black and white text theme, which I developed into my website using a dark grey background and a range of colours of text and extra graphics, broken up by only the images. Both the digipack and the website are created to work with the music video to help sell the artist in the form of a promotional package. Therefore, I had to make sure they all fit together and created synergy to link them. Continuity was an important part of this, keeping the same style outfits and iconography of the artist. As it is important that the products synergized, I used similar photography throughout to highlight the link between each piece of media, and kept the same overexposed light intensity, which holds the continuity. For the digipack, I focused more on the iconography of the artist, creating the representation of being more carefree and nomadic, as this is the more general view of the artist overall. However, with the music video being directly aimed at the single being released, I also brought a lot of the focus onto the dark themes of the lyrics and the disequilibrium caused by them. This was illustrated through the dark colour schemes and house style used throughout the narrative sections of the video. The website, however, is the medium between the digipack and the video, this being focused on the artist as a general, but also on the promotion of the new album and specifically the single. Therefore, I carried the house style over, as mentioned before, using the overexposed image, but also using the darker greys and blacks as the background to represent the disequilibrium and some of the darker, more sombre and serious tones and themes of the album and the artist's music. One of the website's primary uses is to promote and distribute the album, so the synergy is created throughout the viewing of the music video on the website, as well as the digipack artwork featuring on the website, and immediate promotion of the new release on Web 2.0. With Generation C being now, and current online music distribution services will appeal to them, with the music being available for download and purchase through iTunes. But also, in addition, the option of traditional physical formats for slightly older fans who may prefer the older media methods and physical copy sentiment. However, as Mulligan states, alternative products are needed, therefore a larger proportion of the sales would be focused on digital sales. Overall, my promotional package products work in synergy with each other to promote and distribute my artist correctly within the folk genre. This is done through finding the correct suitability for my artist. Alice's iconography is a representation of a carefree, natural, free person, which is demonstrated throughout the promo package in voyeuristic context of the setting, outdoors in the wood by a river. This has connotations of nature and freedom within that. The folk genre tends to use light a lot in their products, often focusing on natural light of the sun and the effects that can be created on camera. So I created overexposed shots to develop this convention and make it suitable for my artist. In other typical conventions for the genre, many folk artists wear hats or muted colours such as brown, which I featured throughout my promo package in the photography, demonstrating her style and fashion and the typical look of a folk artist. The use of the focus on her instrument of an acoustic guitar creates a strong link between the artist and music, as well as implying that she can play her instrument well, noted by Archer. The label that my artist is signed to is Island Records, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music, which is a part of the Big Three. Therefore, the promotional pieces are heavily based on the artist with plenty of images of them, which I have done to appeal to this. The music video is more visually appealing with high definition to highlight the bigger industrial style label, in addition to using more third-party sellers such as iTunes for the music sale of the website. This also all comes back around to the appeal of the audience of this genre, who believe in more free attitude towards life and appreciating the nature, whilst also possibly relating to the darker themes of the lyrics and the music, considering the audience is fairly wide. The promo package is able to appeal to that audience with the more physical format of the digipack for a possibly older audience, whilst a slightly younger audience connected with Generation C have the appeal of a modern website and digital copies of the song. The whole creation of the promo package creates synergy, suggested by Dyer, who said, "A star is constructed from a range of materials." This helps to distribute and sell the new music and the artists themselves, whilst using the genre conventions and appealing to a wide audience.